Welcome to God Chosen Cosmic Melodies. We're back for another good one. So I am about to rock your world and blow your mind. So get ready. You might as well click like and tune in to your soul. When you listen to what I'm about to say in this video, don't just listen from your brain. Listen from your heart and listen from your soul. Okay. So I was in the washroom taking a shower, and I was thinking, the water was running on me, and I was thinking God's blessings are unlimited. And God's blessings are in the little things, in the intimacy and the connection that you have with source energy. That blessing is unmatched, and nothing in this realm can give you that blessing, the simplicity in connecting with God source energy. So that's the first thing. And then the next thing, sorry, one second. So the next thing is, I forgot to say in my previous video, I'm wearing my fun wig. I really love this wig. I've had it for a long time. From when I first cut my hair short, and I wanted to have the best of both worlds. So then this baby came into play, and I named her Jennifer. Like Jenny from the Block, because J-Lo used to have her hair something similar, like when her hair's long and like they blow dry it out. Yeah, I don't know. It reminds me of Jenny from the Block. I'm still Jenny from the Block. I used to have a little, now I have a lot. Say what? Excuse me? Like, this is the thing, is from old paradigm, you used to have a little in old paradigm, in an old way of thinking, feeling, and being. And what you're able to manifest, you used to have a little because your old mindset. And now J-Lo that has a lot, she fixed her mindset. She did what she had to do to gain success. And I think the most important thing when it comes to success, anything in the material world, is to be successful in your connection with God's source energy, first and foremost. And then the other success comes along with that. Because as we know, either people are getting success through the wrong way, the evil, low vibrational way, or you're getting success through the high vibrational way. There's only really, well, people do go in between, but really, you get the point. Is, people in Hollywood or just in general, sometimes people want to take shortcuts to success. But the purest way for us to go towards success is with being successful with our connection with God. And within being successful with God, as we go towards success in the physical realm, things will open up more, energetically. So let's get into the next thing that came to mind. So I was thinking, it had dawned on me a while back how we are portals. If you can see my Instagram page, Soul Love Energy Reawakening, it's in the description. So go check it out if you haven't already. And you see visually our vortex field. It's like a portal. And, they consider the pyramids like a portal from higher realms to the earth realms. And they consider it a stargate. And there's stargates all around the world, in different parts of the world, and where there's crystals, because we're living on a crystalline grid. Most people are not aware of that. But yeah, so because of that, energy is transmitted. The earth is a transmitter, and you know how we're transmitters. We are like the earth, and we're meant to live in a symbiotic relationship with the earth for many different reasons. And there's a lot of scientific proof to prove this, and go down the rabbit hole. I really encourage you for that to, because I have in many different ways, and it's really helpful. And then, so also listen to God's guidance directly, because we are transmitting messages. God is communicating to us through frequency, and God communicates to the earth and everything in existence through sound frequency. It's invisible intelligence coursing through all that is. God's source energy communicates to its own creation. This makes perfect sense, like a duh. And there's science to back this up. So it isn't just something that you feel in your soul and you can't like prove. There's proof everywhere you look, if you have eyes to see, because people who are spiritually blind will see, but they still won't see. That's the thing. And so when you spiritually see, you understand the interconnectedness of all that is on a deeper level. And then so we're able to access more different wavelengths and dimensional states of being and understanding. So that being said, like I said, there's pyramids. Underneath the pyramids in Egypt, there are gateways, right? They used to use it as a gateway, one of the gateways from higher realms to this realm in the 3D plane, in this realm. And so Samuel Samuel Bleemed, I think I'm saying his name right. He's talking on one of his recent ones. He's talking on this realization that I had a while back that is also on my page, where our vortex is a portal. We're portals. And he's connecting the correlation of how the pyramid was used as a portal, and we're all portals. And so he's coming back around to the realization, I feel like all of us that share this wisdom that we come to understand in our own way, it's assisting other people come back to the remembrance and realization in their own way, depending on the stage and the phase they're in the reawakening process. And so it was a breath of fresh air when I seen this video and he was connecting that correlation, because I share a lot of this in different ways in my videos, and how it's important to connect to source energy, because source is trying to live through us, flow through us, and work with us as co-creators of the creator. And so, you know, then God guided me to these things. And you know, everything is interconnected, and the things that like pop up sometimes on your phone, it's specific to each individual. You know how depending on the things that you view or whatever, everybody's feed is different. And so sometimes depending on the energy you're in, you will attract certain information, right? Pieces of information. And so I've already been on this wavelength of awareness, and I'm intentionally expanding this state of awareness. And so it dawned on me, because we're living in a multidimensional reality, we're interdimensional, right? And everyone who does their meditation work, their prayers, they're changing energy as we know it through the whole quantum field. They're changing realities, their own inner reality and other people's realities, because as we know, there's a common theme all around the globe currently, and we understand this through astrology too. There's a common themes that everyone on the globe, on the face of the planet, will experience in many different senses, but a similar unfolding of things. And we know it's because of the planetary changes in the solar system. Every planet has a part to play, just like every human has a part to play. And so higher realms, God source energy is communicating to us through frequency. This is why it's really important for people to wake up to the realization that you are a crystalline being living on a crystalline grid, and you are a transmitter. The earth is a transmitter. The earth is receiving messages from her friends, her family in the solar system, and guiding each other. Everybody's guiding each other in the solar system, and humans on the planet need to get with it and also wake up to the realization that you're being guided from a higher power, from God's source energy, through you being the portal, you being the crystal, the transmitter. You're here to transmit God's messages. You're here to be guided by God's guidance through your vessel. And like they use the pyramids as a gateway. You know, currently we see with wars and stuff, they fight for the gateways on this planet, because they want to keep the power that they have over this planet. And the way they do that is by keeping us all suppressed and unaware of this side of reality, and the importance of us doing our inner work to become online. You need to become online when it comes to living on this crystalline grid. Most angelic, soldier, warrior, ancient celestial beings are offline because they're unaware. They have been suppressed for long enough, and it's time for everyone to wake up so that we can free ourselves from the inside out through doing our, and you know, this is not something like far out of like sci-fi or make-believe. This is real life. Doing the inner work, your inner work, is so simple, but it is a day-to-day thing, and a little progress at a time really makes a difference in the whole, and in every multi-dimensional layer you can ever think of or perceive into. And so, you know, we are source, and source is us, right? Source is with us, source is within us. We are one with source. We're different expressions of source energy. We know that, right? And so when we live through that inner knowing, and we tap into our capabilities of being able to shift our reality from the inside out, we could literally cure illnesses by changing our ways of thinking, feeling, and being, changing our lifestyles, changing the way that we perceive everything. And so, you know, on a global scale, these pictures are really symbolic. So on a global scale, people are waking up around the world. I feel like I'm going to tell a story with the pictures, okay? Because I feel like I'm really gifted in doing that. That's why my page, Soul of Energy Reawakening, that's the whole thing. Because I'm really gifted in being able to portray a message, a deep message, through minimal words, but mainly pictures. But it's not just a message, it's a soul message. And it's soul guidance. So it's not just a picture. So like, and I'll credit all the pictures. Akaratha is from that picture. And then, you know, so the flower of life around the earth, that's symbolic to the fact that we're all interconnected. Not only are we all interconnected, the earth has its own vortex field. It has an electromagnetic field. And so it is a portal too. So we are living walking portals, living on an earth that is also a portal. Holy mother of God. God literally rocks my world every single day. Like, blow your mind, rock your world, change your life forever, for life. Anybody that comes across my life, their life will be changed time and time again for the best, for the greater. Because God will have it so. God will have it that way. And that's why God has granted me the opportunity to still be here, even after almost dying 4 times. So I know what I'm talking about. I've already been on the other side and gotten the chance to be here. So I know from personal experience on a soul level, that, you know, like, it's really important for people to tune into their personal connection to God's source energy, people. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what we need in the world. Like, so you see those pictures of all angelic beings, like, rising up above the earth. And to me, that's symbolic to people's activations being activated, right? That's also symbolic. This one, I don't know how to say the name of the page or whatever. But, so activations of us all around the globe will have us rising up to a higher state of being, frequency, wavelength, of understanding and being. And we'll, you know, with us doing that for ourselves, for each other, we're doing it for the planet itself. So imagine, you know, because some people now think that we don't live on a globe, we just have different dimensional planes of existence. And so this picture is symbolic to how all these things can be happening all at once simultaneously. And like then there's like the controller down here, right? So basically all of us have this ability where we are able to shift things all across the board when we tap in to our connection to source and our highly advanced technology that we truly are internally. And we only unlock these things when we do the inner healing work in order to unlock these parts of our DNA to access our light body, our Merkaba, to higher capacity. So a higher and greater capacity. And these are like literally simple things, okay, to turn on and get more aligned. So when you tap into your inner tree wisdom, remember we're all interconnected, and we use our voice to speak these changes out into the ethers, into the quantum field, in order to change our past, present, and future. On a global scale, we can change the past, present, and future world events for the better. This is what we could do. This is what God told me, and that we need to get people to activate sooner than later more. And of course, we can't force this. Each individual who does this inner work for themselves will assist anyone else who isn't doing the work. And then eventually, in their own timeline, in their own way, they will shift to the timeline they are meant to be on through all of us light workers, just doing what we do best, you know, effortlessly. Effortlessly, people. It doesn't even, it's like for real, it's gotten to the point for me where it doesn't even take effort. I literally when I'm by myself and I'm sitting, there's so much happening inside. There's so many inner shifts, and I'm very conscious of all the energy that I'm emitting, intentionally putting out into the quantum field. So look, you know, we are interdimensional, multidimensional, electromagnetic, metaphysical souls in a human experience, third density holographic matrix simulation. So with that being said, you see this technology, like it's technology underneath the earth and above in the sky, and our higher guidance. I feel like that's what it's symbolic to. And we are that technology. We are one with this whole technology. We are interconnected do all of this in a way that most people don't perceive into and don't live out of, and don't, you know, when you live out of this understanding and this knowing, your life is never the same. You are not as easily enslaved on a spiritual level, because most people don't realize they're spiritually enslaved because they're asleep to what's really happening, and how they're being controlled on an electrical level. Like, so that's why the transhuman wave thing, and you know, they have figured out how to tap into people's minds and figure out what people are thinking and invade people's energy fields, invade and violate people's energy fields without permission. This is what they're already doing. Do your own research. I really don't care if people think this is too far out for them. I don't care. God is guiding me to talk on this, so that's what I'm doing. So like the fact that they already have using the technology that they have come to create from what they've come to understand, they are already misusing this highly advanced technology to invade our privacy and to invade us spiritually. And so it's really important for people to rise up to their sovereignty and realize to have more sovereignty over their mind, body, and soul. And the only way we're able to have more sovereignty is if we spread this awareness to people who are unaware of their interconnectedness, like on a whole other level. And so, yeah, this is your friendly reminder, connect to your interconnectedness of all that is, and tap into your inner technology and use this inner technology to connect to God's source energy, which is a form of technology. It's invisible intelligence. And so I'm heavy on believing in God's plan and timing, people. That's what's happening on a global scale. I believe it's in God's timing. Not only I believe, I know, and we will all rise up because we are all one in different expressions. And so all of us need to do that process for ourselves one by one. And when we perceive life, it changes. So look, all these different ways you can view life. And so we need to remember that we are the controller of our lives, because there's so many different ways that it can go. We need to wake up to our sovereignty and choosing the brightest timeline possible. Of course, there's polarity for things for us to learn and to evolve us. But, you know, people in a state of suffering for far too long, enough is enough. Okay. There's a lot of self-inflicted suffering happening throughout people's lifetimes that is so unnecessary, because they're asleep to the realization of how much power they have to wake themselves up out of that chosen nightmare and make the changes you need to make on an internal level and external level, and go through the inner healing process. This is the only way out. It's in. We know that for certain. For like my whole entirety is very certain about this. So the void is a state of consciousness. You enter into this. I ran into by Abigail Stellar Shakina. I don't know. I gotta give credit to that though. It's a good rating. If you can see right there on the video, pause it and look at it. So the void is a state of consciousness you enter into to expand beyond current limitations. Let go of the old and shift into higher, the next level of growth. Going through the void is a space of powerful transition, people. As you go into the void, you are leaving behind all the familiar habits, thoughts, behaviors, structure, attitudes, and beliefs. You are going deeper within to create new beliefs and behaviors that will align and match your higher vibration. This is the vibe all year round. Like, I feel like when people tune into this vibration, seriously, you will only know when you know. So your spiritual awakening journey will have you experience the void throughout your evolution, and it's going to be several different times in your stages and phases of your reawakening process. So you are learning to have the ability to live near the void state of consciousness, to go into it, be at peace with it, and also allow it, and then assist you in growing at a faster rate and experience more love, joy, and aliveness as a result. It isn't meant to be a place of stagnancy, but rather creating enough space to then shift into a higher alignment. Well, you will experience the void when you are letting go of an aspect of your personality, when you are in transition. You know, when you're going through changes and stuff and you have to let go of old aspects of your personality that no longer fit with who you are becoming and evolving into as you embody your higher self. The void is a state of consciousness that represents the surrender of the ego or personality attachment as you experience God and the higher guidance that connects you to your higher self. So this takes the process of surrendering your ego and personality attachment of who you thought you were and who you perceived yourself to be before you knew your interconnectedness of all that is. You got to let go of that ego and come to the truth of who you really are. This is an important part of the rebirth, as it is in the womb or cocoon that you experience metamorphosis and emerge as your higher self. So when a baby is born and they leave the birth canal, they have to let go of their old self in order to, and then they go through the pain. And when they get through the pain of having let go of the old self, the contraction and expansion, you contract because you're scared of leaving your old self, and you resist the awakening, but then you realize it's best for you, and you get past the contraction and you go into the expansion, into a new higher self version of reality. You're leaving your old self and birthing out of the womb your higher self. And the womb is basically you birth you have to let go of the old versions of you in order to birth the new version of you, and this applies to both men and female. This is why every single one of us have masculine and feminine, because the masculine will use their feminine aspects of energy in order to be able to birth their new versions of self as well. So tap into your inner feminine and masculine when it comes to this process. Tap into your inner balance with source. I love how everything comes full circle. I'm channeling, and then I share information from like different places, like books or online and things. So it's a combination of it all. And how my videos, they tend to really flow with each other. And I don't really pre-plan too much of it. I just trust in source to guide me through it all. So this one is by Jacoby Art. On the day of awakening, the temple sang today, not with mortal voices, but with the breath of the cosmos. At its center stood a man of flame, his heart a radiant sunburst, tearing the veil between flesh and eternity, spilling the secrets of gods into trembling air. Oh, I love this poetry. So I'm not going to keep reading it, but I just wanted to show the picture. This is every single one of us observing ourselves in many different forms. And every single one of us is meant to transcend to a higher version of ourselves. And every time every one of us does this, it upgrades every single one else. Everybody has a part to play in this on a humanitarian level. No matter what financial bracket you are in, we have more spiritual power than the elite people trying to keep humanity enslaved. Especially when people wake up to this higher degree on an internal level. So it is literally time to shine your light. And that is by Jacoby Art too. So I just went into their page and looked more. I love their art. So it's really symbolic, guys. And you know, if they're making art like this, they're on my wavelength, and I am for sure on their wavelength, because my soul is like, you took the words right out of my mouth, or right out of my soul, really, what my soul knows. So remember, we are meant to rise up time and time again. No matter what, all right? No matter what presents itself, rise up and connect to your cosmic connection to all that is. This picture is so fire. This is like, oh my God, it shows what I feel inside, which is why I love art so much, which is why art even exists, right? Why people love art, because, it says so much without saying anything, but it's saying everything. I love it. And the flower of life on the top. So yeah. And this one, a cube in your mind, you have to undo the complications in your mental state. Do the Rubik's Cube in your mind. And remember, whatever you send out, because we're projecting our reality from the inside out at all times. And so inside the darkness of your mind, you shine the light of Christ consciousness onto your shadow. You transmute your shadow. You alchemize yourself time and time again. And you are able to perceive the world in many different ways, in more brighter ways. You're able to alter your own reality, each other's reality, and the global events based on your choice of perception and what you're projecting outwardly. And as we all project a higher vibrational version of reality in our inner world to our outer world, we're upgrading the Akashic records and the whole energetic quantum field, the whole energetic invisible data storage. So you know how they have these units that are like the internet people, they have these units where they're like little boxes, and in these little boxes there's tons of data, and they control us in a sense through this way too. They have accumulated data of everybody's lives. They have this in the government, and so but they misuse this accumulated data for bad. And we are meant to remember and realize that we have the ability to tap into that accumulated data through our portal, through our connection to source energy directly. We don't even need to try to hack into their computer. We can essentially hack in through our own inner technology, which is what I've done personally. God told me this, so I'm telling you all, so we can all upgrade ourselves. Hello, we're all in this together. We are each other after all, in different expressions. Whether people whether people realize it or not, whether people choose to have like their spiritual awakening or not, it doesn't matter. It still is what it is. So this is happening. It's going down. It's happening every second, every millisecond. The flower of life and life itself, God source energy, is evolving itself. And there's nothing no human on this planet can do to stop it. Like, very literally. And even if they try to cover the sun, which is what I posted a story about that today, it doesn't matter. It's not going to stop it, because source energy doesn't just upgrade us from the sunlight. Source energy upgrades us from the inside out. So there's nothing that they can do to stop it, even if they're trying to slow it down. The whole global reawakening that everybody's going through, the spiritual awakening, and all of a sudden people are realizing, oh, it is really important for me to do spiritual growth on myself so that I can improve myself in every area of my life, so I can experience a better quality of happiness and joy while I'm here alive in this one lifetime. Again, you don't have to be spiritual and consider yourself spiritual to realize the importance of doing this inner work, so that we can transcend to a higher dimensional state of feeling, thinking, and simply being. Okay, so you see how this earth is a vortex? You see that vortex there? This is also another artistic person that, like, wow, this picture helps me describe what I've been like seeing and feeling and understanding from God source energy. It's so helpful. So everything I explained about how the earth, go to my page and you'll see, I show on my page, Soul of Energy Reawakening, how the earth has an electromagnetic field. Therefore, it has a vortex. And this vortex of the souls that's why they're trying to control the grid, the landlines, the stargates. They've been controlling the electromagnetic grid of this earth to block and prevent the ascension and ascension of the souls. God source energy. So our souls come from God source energy. We're the children of God. We're enslaved on an energetic level, and that's why we're enslaved in the physical realm, on a financial level, in the system that has been built over time. And don't get me wrong, there are really good things about the system. What's wrong about the system is there are elite people who want to keep humanity energetically, spiritually enslaved. The system, it's not the system that's the problem. It's the evil doers and the evil people who want to withhold this information from humanity to keep humanity suppressed on a soul level in order to keep feeding on people's energy fields, people's piranha energy, people's chi energy. They keep humanity alive but spiritually dead and asleep in order to keep them controlled on a spiritual level, because when people don't realize who and what they are, they give themselves away without a fight on a soul level. And in fact, they give the most richest thing about them, their soul, in order for worldly riches, because they were deceived and tricked into a deeper form of soul enslavement. And so, guys, please don't let that be you. Don't choose the physical realm over your soul wealth, your soul protection, your soul oneness with God source energy. Please do your best to tap in constantly to your interconnection of all that is and to God source energy, and help spread this information as much as possible in the way that you perceive it and however you feel fit to express yourself in sharing this. And share this video if you feel called to. And like, I just gotta keep sharing this picture because you see there's this invisible field right over the earth. You see, first there's an invisible field over the earth, and then there's this invisible field when the souls are being released out of the earth and going into like the eternal life, flower of life, not the false flower of life, but the actual eternal life, where we're not just immortal souls. We're not just immortal. We are eternal life souls. We are eternal ancient celestial beings. Whether people realize that or not doesn't matter to me. I meant to share this because God told me to, so that's what I'm doing. So our power comes from source. Therefore, anything we do in the earthly realm it's greater than just our human experience. We can only do so much in our human experience. But when we tap into this higher level of our interconnection of all other life experiences from the past, present, and future, we are able to change the world. We are able to change the world events for better. This is literally the cure of most people's lives internally. Because remember, everything's an internal job. The way that you think and feel about the world is what the world will be for you. And the way for you to rebirth the world from the inside out, we are the change the world needs. We are the change the world wants to see. And that starts from the way that we perceive ourselves and each other and the world at large. And realize that we have the power to shift, heal, and evolve anything and everything and advance it. We are meant to advance it from the inside out through energy work and our shadow work. You know, it is a collective call for shadow work. People look into Carl Jung's work. He's really good. I love his work so much. Rest in peace. But he's not here in the physical, but he is still here in his intelligence. His soul intelligence is a part of the collective intelligence, the Akashic records, the information we all have the ability to tap into at any second of any day. We have the information we need at the click of a button in this day and age. There's no excuse why people are not doing the inner work that they need to do to free themselves on a soul level, in order for you to not be consumed by human emotions, situations, and circumstances on a personal level, on a family level, on a friendship level, and on a collective level. You don't need to be consumed on an emotional level when you realize how to work your inner technology and how to better utilize your emotions to evolve yourself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, every area of life. From the inside out, this is how we literally rebirth the whole entire world on a humanity level, through each individual rebirthing their ways of thinking and feeling, rebirthing themselves, letting go of the outdated ways of thinking and feeling, the old paradigm where we're victims and the government has a hold over us. No, we're not victims, and the government does not have as much control as we give them. Okay, they don't. We have the control on a spiritual level when we wake up and we do the inner work and hold ourselves accountable and stand in our sovereignty. This is literally the cure of all of our inner world. So God is my source. I will not lack nothing. Even in the human realm, when things seem like they're lacking. Oh, sorry. I have a little cut on my face, but so when we perceive things as lack, even if we are experiencing a struggle time or a hard time in the physical realm, when we fall for the illusion that we're lacking because we don't have enough or we're struggling in the physical realm, we're falling for their tricks. Because when we remember who we really are and where our true origins come from, we never lack anything, ever. And so even if we are struggling, we tap into our inner abundance and we manifest abundance in our external world at some point or another. We won't perpetuate that lack version of reality because we're waking up to the realization that that's an illusion that was put on us over time. And the reality is we have the ability to shift our perception to an abundance mindset and therefore attract better things and opportunities, and things open up in a, easier way, in a faster way, when we tap into who we truly are, no matter what struggle we could be facing that we need to overcome and advance ourselves through. So, because when we do that, that's what you call self-love. That is true self-love. When we do this inner work to heal ourselves from our birth emotion to our childhood trauma to even our teenage trauma to our adulthood trauma, whatever that may be, we are not victims. We are here to love ourselves back into the love that we're meant to truly be. Actually, the love that we truly are. We're meant to uncover and unblock the barriers from what's blocking us from our truest form, which is soul love, energy, reincarnated, incarnate, okay? Soul love energy in the flesh. We are interdimensional, multidimensional, electromagnetic, metaphysical souls, soul love energy in a physical form, in a third density, holographic matrix simulation. We simulate our reality from our internal world. And when we give ourselves the love that we need, we will grow more love amongst each other in humanity. We'll grow a greater trust. I find that a lot of people, when they haven't done this inner work, people have trust issues. People are bitter to the world. They don't trust humanity the way that it should be. We're meant to be able to rely and trust each other. For some reason, the way that the frequency, well, not for some reason, as we know, they mess with the frequency of the earth. And when the earth is at a 440 hertz frequency, it causes destruction. It causes people to have mistrust to each other. It causes people to be disconnected, and because the love frequency is missing. And this is why, even if they try to control things outside of us, what they can never control is internal. And this is why it's important for us to tune into our power internally and choose love, choose self-love over and over and over and over again, no matter what your age is, no matter what, throughout your whole entire life, choose self-love. And that means to constantly choose to evolve your internal world. And when you do that for yourself, you're doing it for everyone else that you could ever come across. Okay. Because we can't talk to everyone in the world. One person can't possibly come across everyone in the world, but you can change everyone in the world through the energy that you put out into the world. And so it is really profound when we see it that way and we realize it and understand it that way and we take accountability in that way and we stand and operate in our sovereignty in that way throughout life. And so this is really important. The Bible talks about all these different things. As we know, they've manipulated the Bible, but there are a lot of things in the Bible that stand the test of time and that stand strong through no matter what, throughout the generations and the decades. We need to come back to God source energy. This is what God is calling me to transmit. And so this is coming from my heart. And like I said from the beginning of the video, please don't just listen to me from your mind. Listen to me, like really open your heart and take in these messages into your heart and soul, so that, you know, when you tune into this truth, you're able to activate yourself. So always pray for protection. There's a lot that we don't see. That's leggy, girl. But yeah, that's a great reminder. Seriously, we need to constantly protect our energy field with what's happening with advanced technology. And like I explained earlier, is that everything's interconnected. They invade our energy fields and they invade our thought forms. And it's important to stand in your sovereignty in protecting your mind, body, and soul by praying every single day. Pray every single day of your life. Always pray for protection. There's a lot that we don't see that's happening right now on a global scale. This is no joke, okay? This is a huge deal, because we're living through historical times. When Elon Musk and the evil people, the billionaires that are like a hybrid of humans and something else, they don't have good intentions for humanity. And there are certain things that we can't control outside of us, but what we can always control is our inner world. So stand in your sovereignty in your mind, body, and soul. Change your ways of thinking and being to get in alignment with your higher self. So God is here for us at all times. Again, we tune in on a DNA level every second, every day, you know, throughout your day, no matter what you're doing. You're at work, you're driving, you're taking a shower, you're using the washroom, you're looking in the mirror, you're dancing, whatever it is. It's just about tuning in your inner world throughout your day, every single day, and consistently live through the place of being interconnected with all that is, with source energy, God source energy, and giving God thanks and giving praise. Really say out loud, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for my life. Thank you, God, for the protection that you provide for me. Thank you, God, for helping me in my hard times. Thank you, God, for being there for me at all times. And we stand in the now. Stand in the now. And remember, the past, present, and future is in the now. Anything bad that's going on in your life, whatever it could possibly be, remember, when you stand in the now, you are able to change the past, present, and future at all times. And the way that we sustain ourselves in a higher frequency is by consistently doing this inner work. Okay, guys, it's not going to do itself. We can't spiritual bypass and say, you know what, just perceive into a timeline where everything's going good. And then what, everything's actually not good and you're just going to ignore what's not going good? No, that's what you call spiritual bypassing. Yet the way that we do it is that when we know there's bad going on, we don't ignore that there's bad going on. We just choose to focus on more healing. We choose to focus on the timeline where we can improve the bad timeline. That's the timeline we focus on, the timeline of improvement. We don't expect it to just improve itself. We do the improving internally with your inner work. That's how powerful this inner work really is. It is literally the cure of the world. I know that sounds like, oh my God, you're being dramatic. But I don't know why, but I've always had this feeling like I'm supposed to help save the world. And I know that sounds grandiose, but I know a lot of people can probably relate, especially people who talk on this subject, okay? So I know I'm not the only one. Like John Lennon, imagine all the people living in the world as one. I feel like our soul has this common dream and this common like wanting for the world to heal. And we knowing that we all deserve healing and envisioning like saving the world. and it's not that far-fetched for us to all do this, actually. You know, in biblical text, it does say in many different ways how a collective of people were going to be the ones who were part of the saving of everything. So it isn't unrealistic, people. And if you think about it, again, we have all the numbers and they have the money they are misusing their power, the power that they do have, the perceived power that they do have. They're misusing it over the masses and they have the money. But when everyone wakes up one by one to the realization that we're all able to do this together, break out of the enslavement, stand up for what's right, people higher up doing this on a global scale and in all governmental places around the world, people, angelic beings standing up against the dark principalities of this realm, you know, little by little, we're going to see improvements all around the world. The news may talk about the bad things, but there are still also good things happening, like other places of the world, they're starting to improve the corals. They're improving things, but news don't talk about that because they don't want to put that in your mind, because then you'll project a better reality. And what they want people to be thinking about is Armageddon, end of the world kind of things. That's why they put these things in movies and TV shows, because then when people are thinking about, oh my God, the government's going to shit, we're going to have, the planet's going to blow up, Armageddon kind of thing, oh my God, the food shortage, no food anywhere, people are going to attack each other, and then people literally are projecting that out into the into the world without realizing that they're in advanced technology creating that reality for themselves and each other, the people that are around them. What in the world? Oh my God, no, oh my God, no, guys, we need to wake up. We need to not create a version of hell for yourself. Oh my God, I feel like my voice got crackly. So, yeah, you get the point. Like I say a lot in my videos, is like our inner world projected outwardly is what creates our reality. And we know science is proving how, you know, that experiment, the double slit experiment, what you focus on, it will become what the energy that you perceive it to be. This is literally proved by quantum physics, guys. This is not something that is like far-fetched and far out. This is real life. This is reality. Even with the concept of being interdimensional, multidimensional, electromagnetic, metaphysical souls in the human experience, in the third density holographic matrix simulation, quantum physics is proving these descriptions that I named and how I named it, it's not unrealistic. This is actually real life, but we don't perceive into these depths because people are just living in the 3D realm. People are living in their lower chakra system. They're not even activated to their higher chakras. We are 12-dimensional beings, and when you realize that there's the above so below, remember God's wait, what was I just saying? Oh my god, my my brain just went blank because I got distracted, guys. So like this one, okay, as above so below. So this picture is just like a fun picture. It's called Pyramid City, but it blew my mind because I was on this trail of thought, what I was just telling you, and then I came across this picture, and then I started to connect more dots and realize, oh my god, because if you connect what's on my page and then the art, so like, see the pyramid, as above so below. As we know, there's like this, I'm going to show you now on my page, this concept of how, you know, the higher realms, there's the metaphor of how, you know, Satan became a fallen angel, right? And then the realms were split, where then Adam and Eve were sent to earth, right? Out the gates of heaven. And they were they were able to experience polarity after that, which is ultimately when the metaphor, when she grabs the apple, she wanted to know what God knew, right? But then they created the inverted world, the upside down world. Oh my god. And the fallen angel Satan comes into the upside down world wanting to be the ruler like God, because Satan wants to be God, right? That's the metaphor story. And he wants to play like God, and he plays around in this realm, considers it like a playground, and feeds on humans soul energy, and like God does not do to us what Satan energy does in this realm, because Satan is not God. Clearly. And so I realized that, hold on, I'm trying to find it. I realized that we're meant to rise up out of the inverted world, the upside down world, which is in this holographic matrix simulation that we're in. So this, you see, as above, so below. But when you see it, depending on what angles you see it, but you see the flower of life is in there too. And this is the not the man-made flower of life, but eternal flower of life. So as above, so below, it's meant to merge. We're meant to bring this realm back into the heaven realm. It's meant to merge back into the oneness of all that is. It's not meant to be a fallen. And that's what all of us angelic beings came back for, to upgrade the system from the inside out, because the only way that we can do it is by being here in this form. And so we're meant to transform. Each of our inner world changes the world. And this is my page here, and I made this 5 years back. So let me tell you, I've been understanding, and I'm deepening these understandings and heightening their understandings. And so when we improve all of our inner world on a cellular level, so as you can see, oh my god, please don't tell me, oh my god, please don't tell me, please, holy moly. I just clicked on undo a picture in my, like, I really hope it doesn't, oh my god, I don't know, but like, oh, I hope it didn't mess up my page. But like, okay, so because I clicked on something and I think like it left and then it came, I don't know, but I'll see after the video. But like, I'm just gonna keep thinking positive here. So keep going with what I was saying. So on a cellular level, we, you know, the cells build up, right? And it creates a human. It creates our flesh. It creates our energy body and our flesh structure, right? So every time every one of us does this inner healing work to improve our inner world on a cellular level, our interconnectedness with the cosmos, with all that is, because remember, we are souls in a human experience, come from the source energy. We come from source, but it's like a void. Before time, it was like, it was all darkness, right? And God said, let there be light. It was all darkness, and then there was the destruction of creation. And the destruction of creation created everything and everything in between. So galaxies, stars, planets, humans, cells, atoms, the universe. And it goes back into the universe. It literally, every single thing. So it's eternally evolving itself. God's source energy is eternally evolving itself. And right now, at this point of evolution, it's bringing itself back into itself, because it was inverted, it was upside down, and it was disconnected because of another foreign energy disconnecting it from source. Disconnecting this realm from higher angelic realm, from heaven. So basically, we're going to be manifesting heaven on earth through each and every one of us, our inner world, and making the changes we need to make on an internal level and external level, standing up for what's right, because we're no longer living in fear when we're living from this inner knowing of our true power, our spiritual power to shift reality from the inside out. So this is why it's so important. Our prayer life is literally so important, because remember, we're energy beings, and when we speak, we're speaking energy into the field. We are pure energy. At the core of us is pure energy, and we need to stop acting small, like it says on my page, because we are the entire universe in ecstatic motion. And we need to constantly remind ourselves and each other that when life circumstances come up, that's when we need to remember the most how we're not powerless, no matter what life circumstance or unfairness or sabotage or unjustly, whatever it may be. We still do always have control over our inner world. Even if things externally are not panning out the way we prefer, we could still always shift our external world by what? Shifting our internal world. That's the power we have at all times. That is our birthright that can never be taken away from us. I mean, of course, unless you break the law and then you choose to be enslaved by the system. Don't break the law, please, so that you can continue to have your soul freedom. Because even if you are, in prison, you always do still have your soul freedom. So that's the thing. That's why that guy Mandela, these people who were wrongfully imprisoned, that knew this awareness, how they can control anything from the inside out, they freed themselves in the physical realm by keeping that, knowing that they're free in the soul, and their soul freedom can never be taken away. Even if you were to be wrongfully imprisoned, they can never take away your soul freedom, your soul knowing, your soul oneness with God. And so even if you feel disconnected with God, just do your part in getting back connected, because ultimately, if you really realize you're one with source, it's only a matter of perception that you think you're disconnected. Just tune in, no matter what circumstance. Again, even if you were in prison, this is something they can never ever take away from us unless you give it away willingly. That's why it's important to be sovereign. And the way to be sovereign is to have this awareness and realize the importance of this awareness and sharing this awareness, because we may know it, but not everyone else in the world does. And that's why it's important for us to transmit these messages on a global scale to each other. Even if we think we know, we can still help expand each other's awareness, and express our souls to each other, speak our truth to each other, those kind of things. And remember, we are meant to bring the higher realms into this realm. We're meant to lift this realm to the higher realms and anchor down the higher realm intelligence into this realm. Because remember, as we know, life is a spiral, so we'll always come back to the things that we thought we knew. That also says it in a post. So ride the waves of change. That says it in the post too. So really, these go all together so well with what I've been channeling too. And remember that the unseen realm is coursing through the seen realm at all times. So choose to evolve yourself in the unseen in order to see changes in the seen. And so, yeah, this is big. This is huge. This is mind-blowing. Groundbreaking news, people. We know this. As you can see, it says it on my page, and I created that page 5 years back. But again, I just deepened it and came back around to the same information with a whole new, deeper, higher, profound understanding of it all, and connecting the pieces and the dots to understand the bigger picture and the importance of that every single one of us on the face of this planet is an angelic being, whether you have turned your back on God or you realize this truth. Okay, even the ones who have turned their back on God, they are just fallen angels, but they can do the work to redeem themselves, and it is in everyone's best interest to do so, because we are living throughout wrapped. Oh, I just bit my tongue. Oh my God, that's symbolic. We're living through rapture times, and it can feel hurtful. Oh my God, that's probably why I bit my tongue. It can feel painful, okay, when we are only living in the physical realm. It can feel alarming when we hear these things that, attempts of maybe the government misusing their power. But instead of living in fear, instead of living in sin, instead of using the world happenings as an excuse to be sinful, to make bad decisions, instead of that, stop and listen to your heart. Listen to God speaking to you in your heart. Make the changes that you need to make. When your heart stops beating, so does your opportunity to repent and turn to God. Make your heart right with God while you can. This is really symbolic. And God guided me to this post not for nothing. It really stood out to me. You really matter while you're here in this physical realm. So do the inner changes that you need to make. Choose to not be evil. Choose love over evil time and time again. Because remember, sometimes we get bombarded with collective thoughts, the collective consciousness. So you have to remember to constantly cleanse and protect your energy and rebuke evil thoughts and rebuke evil feelings, because that is at an all-time high with people doing witchcraft or spiritual attacks or things in the government, or just dark principalities of this realm are trying to prey on people's psychological state in their psyche and prey on your soul. And this is why it's important to cleanse and protect your soul and your mind, body, and soul in the times that we're living in today, because they consider people's soul very valuable. They consider your chi energy, your whole energetic system, valuable. They want to feed on our energy. They want to invade our privacy and our energy. Our privacy meaning our thoughts. They invade people's thoughts. They inject negative thoughts into people. They do that. It's proven. Do your own research. I don't care if people believe me. It's not crazy thinking. This is not a conspiracy theory. There's facts out there. Go find them yourself. And so again, with it being what it is, this is what we're facing in the times we're living in today. There's nothing to fear. We don't need to fear when we constantly cleanse and protect our energy system, that we don't fall into just the human realm. We constantly alchemize our thoughts and feelings on a day-to-day basis in order to have a better perception of our circumstances and the circumstances in humanity. And so yeah, tune in and do everything from love, no matter what. Remember, God source energy has our back at all times, and no matter what attack that could ever be attempted, like spiritual attack, because we know that's at an all-time high these days, doesn't matter. They're wasting their time. Anyone who spiritually attacks me or any angelic being will have their consequences in one way or another. God source energy sees everything, and everything is accounted for in the quantum field, and no one can outrun their karma. No one is above the Most High. No one on the face of this planet, including the billionaires and millionaires, they are not above the Most High. No one on the face of this planet will ever be. And so remember that when you feel like scared of another human, of course, be safe. Don't put yourself in danger. Be extremely safe in the times we're living in today, while also remembering whatever spiritual attack they can attempt, it's only going to hurt themselves. Okay, because we have gotten to a point where God is not playing with his children. All right, we're in changing times right now. And remember, no matter the attack, victory is ours. We are guaranteed to win. We just have to continue moving forward and win these inner battles every day. Every day of our lives, every second we have a thought or a feeling that is not right, we alchemize it and turn it into a better one, time and time and time again. And this is how we overcome Satan energies, low vibrational energies, dark principalities of this realm. Because when they can't control our thoughts and our feelings, because we're sovereign, then they can't control the global events, because everyone in humanity is choosing to alchemize their thoughts and feelings into a better reality. This is the power we all have to overcome Satan energies in this world. It is literally as simple as 1, 2, 3, doing the inner work, doing your shadow work, confronting yourself time and time again, every day of our lives internally, because it's all an internal job, as we know. So do yourself a favor and uplift yourself. Do yourself a favor and heal yourself. Do yourself a favor and advance yourself by doing the inner work, and free yourself for the love of God, so you can experience like the angelic heavenly joy and happiness that nothing in this realm can give you, what God source energy can give you in the soul. Okay, remember that when you think money is going to make you happy. Sure, money will assist in this realm, but really, money can never make your soul happy the way that God source energy can make your soul happy. And when you choose God and the soul connection with God first, then the riches mean all that much more in this realm. Because we are all meant to do exactly this in this realm. All of us rise up activated, and all of us that are activated going to the places of the stargates, and before you even go to the stargates, you can already be doing this grid work anywhere you feel called to do the grid work. You put the soles of your feet on a part of the planet, do certain meditations, do certain prayers, and call on source energy and source energy's frequency to use you as a portal and work through you to anchor down those God frequencies into the earth grid, into the electromagnetic field of this earth. We are one with Mother Gaia. There's so many things that we have in common, and literally the earth can't live without us, and we can't live without the earth. Not for nothing, people, all you cosmic souls out there, because we are divinity in the flesh. The earth is divinity in the flesh, and the earth is going through a frequency shift right now, and it's epic. And this is why it's important to not resist your awakening, because it's changing in frequency, and if you don't make the lifestyle changes you need to make, you're going to feel like a state of suffering because you're out of alignment with your higher self. The earth is shifting to its higher self, and we need to shift on a frequency level, internal level, with the earth's frequency, because God is restoring everything from the inside out. So do your part and tune in to God frequency, and listen to God's guidance in your heart. Have a listening heart. And remember, make no apologies. This is a post by Tora Roberts. Make no apologies for the royal blood flowing through your veins, people. Make no apologies, because remember, we are from source. And any dark principalities in this realm that try to shame you and make you feel bad for being different, for make you feel bad for being so advanced, make you feel bad for trying to share these advancements with other people. No. Don't you ever let any dark principalities in this realm put you down to and suppress you from expressing your royal bloodline, which is in source energy. No matter what ethnicity you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what your background is, we come from source, and we are a spiritual royalty. We are a spiritual royal bloodline. Our true origins are spiritual royalty. This is what they wanted to withhold from us so that we don't rise up. But guess what? They can't stop God from communicating to us. They can try to control things in this realm, but they can never control God's source energy. You got it? I hope you do. So tap in anytime you feel pain or powerless or whatever it is, any situation or circumstance that it may be. You will get through it, and you will overcome it, and you will get stronger. You know what? Because God is Godding. And that's also another post. Because remember, we are leaving the age of material, and we are entering the age of frequency. We are frequency beings. We're not just living in the material realm. We are living through our light bodies. We are remembering who and what we truly are, and our true origins and our true power. Make no apology for the royal blood flowing through your veins and flowing through your light body, your Merkaba body. You come from source. You are spiritual royalty. So don't you ever let yourself feel like stuck in as a victim, because you are not a victim. None of us will ever be victims. It's a choice, and it's a state of mind. Even in the circumstances that maybe you were victimized, as I was actually victimized unfairly and unjustly. But even then, I still didn't let the illusions win. I still didn't let the dark principalities win and have me stuck there. Okay, I fell for the illusion at some point, and then I snapped out of it and remembered who I really really am. And I'm here to remind you who you really are. If you find yourself or know someone stuck in victimization, send them this video, please, because they need some activations. And everything I shared in this video is meant for activating people's DNA and deepening people's understandings and waking people up from the inside out, and assisting humanity by transmitting these messages that God guides me to transmit. So I will leave this one here. I have so much to talk about in my upcoming videos. So if you want to come along on this journey with me, subscribe if you haven't already. Click a like because that does help the video. You know, I'm growing this channel. So come along with me and ring the bell for any upcoming videos. I feel elated and thankful to be able to transmit these messages. And God bless you all. Remember to pray for your goals, possessions, pets, loved ones, friends, and humanity at large, and the planet. Because as we know, there's a science to prayer, and prayer is very underestimated. We need to stop underestimating the power of our prayer life. Tune in, tap in, and get aligned. I will talk to you all in my next video.